Hello dear students, hope you are great. Today we are going to revise lesson 3, chapter 5, lesson 3, energy transfer. First question. Classify each scenario as having potential energy, kinetic energy or both. Write the bold words in the table. A brick sitting on top of a wall. A brick sitting on the top of a wall. So this potential energy, both or kinetic energy. Excellent. A brick is a potential energy as it's sitting on the high or top of a wall. A rock that just starting tumbling down a mountainside. So rock just tumbling down a mountainside. This means that a rock on the top of a mountain and then it starts to tumbling down. So at the top of a mountain, this means potential energy. Why? It tumbling down or move or the motion of rock is a kinetic energy. So rock is have both potential and kinetic. A wind up toy car beginning to move after being wound and placed on the ground. So toy car beginning to move. This is a kinetic energy. It starts to move. Any motion, so kinetic energy means energy of motion. So any motion, this is called a kinetic energy. State that energy cannot created or destroyed. This is a law called law of conservation of energy. This law states that energy cannot create or destroy, just it changes from one form to another. For example, rock first has a potential energy. When on the top of a wall, it has a potential energy. So after tumbling down, the potential energy change into kinetic energy. So potential energy not destroyed but present in another form, kinetic energy. This form called kinetic energy is when energy moves from one object to another. When energy transfer or move from one object to another, this is called energy transfer. For example, when energy moves from one object to another. When the energy moves from one object to another, this is called energy transfer. Is when energy change from one form to another, this is called energy transformation. So energy transfer from one object to another, while energy transformation from one form to another. For example, electric fan. The input energy is electricity, so the input energy, electric energy. When the fan work, this energy called kinetic energy. So electric energy change into kinetic energy from one form to another. This is called energy transformation. The total amount of energy an object has due to potential and kinetic energy, mechanical energy. Both mechanical energy. How does transformation of energy transformation in the following device from energy transformation mean energy move from one form to another. For example, fan, electric fan. Input energy is electric energy, so output kinetic energy of motion. Toaster, input energy, electric energy. This electric energy change into heat energy. Lesson 4, thermal energy. The transfer of energy between materials because they have a different temperature is heat. So energy transfer between the materials because they have a different temperature is heat. Tablespoon of melted butter has less thermal energy than cup of melted butter because the cup of melted butter has a high quantity than tablespoon of melted butter. So cup of melted butter has a high or more thermal energy, while a tablespoon of melted butter has less thermal energy. Expansion resulting from gaining thermal energy is called thermal expansion. When, for example, if I heat ice, this ice, it starts to melt. So the particles inside the ice start to expand. This is called thermal expansion. Look for this example. The diagram summarizes what happens when thermal energy is added to or removed from a substance. For example, the particle in substance A, after I heated, B mean heat. After I heated some substance in A, it turn into the particle inside a substance A start to expand like this picture. Start to expand after I heat substance in A. So which letter show thermal expansion? C. Which letter show heat? B. Is a motion of atom or molecule within a substance. Motion of atom or molecules within a substance. It's called thermal energy. Motion of particles. So the motion of particles in substance called thermal energy. Is the transfer of energy between materials because they have a different temperature. This is called heat. Which is the best thermal insulator? Lesson 5. Lesson 5, thermal energy transfer. Which is the best thermal insulator for hat? Hat is insulated, cannot conduct electricity or heat. This is called insulator, while conductor can conduct heat. Insulator cannot conduct. Copper wire conduct. Steel fork conduct. Iron nails conduct, while forehead does not conduct. Look at the picture. Which material would make the best insulator? This is the copper is conductor, while the wood, this wood, is insulator. So copper, aluminium, wood. Yes, wood. How does heat move? Heat move from warmer object to colder object. Which of this is the best thermal conductor? Conductor mean can conduct or can transfer heat. Gloves, copper, yes, or rubber glove, no. Plastic, no. Plastic insulator, rubber insulator, clothes insulator, while copper is conductor. Is the total amount of kinetic energy, or total amount in a substance or an object. This means thermal energy. So a thermal energy, total amount of kinetic energy or motion. Kinetic energy mean motion. Any matter that does not allow heat to pass through it. Does not allow heat to pass through it. This is called insulator. Which material would be the best choice for cooking tool to be used when grilling food? So I need a conductor. So which substance of this is conductor? Plastic, no. Insulator. Metal, yeah, conductor. Paper, no. Insulator. Wood, no. Insulator. What is the thermal energy? Thermal energy means total amount of kinetic energy. So kinetic energy of motion particles. Thermal energy always move from warmer object to cooler object. True. There are 3 types of heat transfer. Heat can transfer into 3 types. first type called radiation, then convection and conduction. So the three types of heat transfer: radiation, convection, conduction. How do currents transfer heat in the ocean? Convection, this one, convection mean transfer of heat inside the water or in the air. This is convection. While conduction, transfer of heat by direct contact or physical touch. This conduction. Radiation, presence of waves like microwave. This is called the heat transfer. This type called radiation. Sun, radiation. Any fire or burn, radiation. Any waves. While convection, in water or air. So heat transfer in ocean, this is a water, so convection. Which best describe the transfer of heat due to movement of gases or liquid, or air or liquid? Convection is the way heat moves through liquid or gas. Convection. Is the movement of energy by waves like sun ray, like microwaves. This is called radiation. This type of heat transfer called radiation. The transfer of thermal energy between things that are touching or physical touch, direct contact, is called conduction. Yes, true. The direct transfer, direct contact of heat between objects, this is called conduction. When you touch a spoon or a cup of tea, so you touch, direct transfer of heat from a tea to your hand, from a teacup to your hand. This is a direct contact. This is called conduction. This type of transfer called conduction. Thermal energy can be transferred by three options, three heat transfers: radiation, conduction, convection. Energy from the sun reach Earth by energy from the sun. Sun transmit energy or sun rays. This is the waves. So radiation. Which of the following is type of heat transfer that happen when two objects are in physical contact? Direct contact. Conduction. Yes. Material eraser is insulator. Yes. Paper clip, this is metal, so conductor. Plastic insulator. Glass insulator. Wood insulator. Paper insulator. Nail conductor is a metal. Pencil wooden part insulator. Your feet burn when you walk barefoot across hot sand. So your feet direct contact with sand. This type of heat transfer is conduction. Two objects are different temperature, are in direct contact or physical touch. This conduction. The sun warms your face. Sun transmits or emits rays, waves. This radiation, this type of heat transfer, radiation. Convection, ocean currents, ocean water. So any water or gas in heat transfer through water or gas, this type of heat called convection. Look at this. And identify the method of thermal transfer that take place in each illustration. This toaster. So toaster emit waves to cook a toast. So this type of heat transfer, radiation. While this flower emits a warmed air. So the type of heat transfer is convection. Iron. This iron heat a clothes by direct contact. So this conduction. Burn, fire, campfire emit waves. This burn emit waves. This one emit waves. So this called radiation. Air condition emit air and air. This called convection. This type called convection. Sun, so sun emit waves, radiation. Oven, an oven emit waves, so radiation. That's it. Thanks for watching.